Hi everyone, this is Nancy. Today is January 23rd. How are you doing? We often hear people say self, non-self, ego, and non-ego. Today, I would like to share with you the contemplation of the Buddha so we could understand these words better. These are simple words, however, they are the root of sentient beings' sufferings and wrong perceptions. Prince Siddhartha abandoned his royal family and became hermit Gautama. At the beginning, he followed different masters to practice. He could reach the states that different masters guided him to. However, the achievements, though very few could reach, could not satisfy him, which means that his fear, his suffering, his anger inside could not be completely removed. He still felt jailed, suffocated, and not at ease deep inside. Later, he stopped following masters and started to explore by himself. He spent years practicing in the austere way. He tortured his body by eating very little. He tried to overcome his fear by meditating in deep forest. However, he found that he could not solve his mind problems by being strict with his body. So after years of trying, he walked onto the middle way. He said, there are two extremes that a person on the path should avoid. One is to plunge oneself into sensual pleasure. The other is to practice austerities by depriving the body of its needs. Both extremes lead to failure. In deep meditation, Gautama found that the body, the feelings, the perceptions, the mental formation, and consciousness are like 5 rivers flowing all the time, which means that the I, the ego, the self that we normally think ourselves as is composed of these 5 rivers. Each cell of the body is like a drop of water in the endlessly flowing river. Each cell forms, lives, and dies. Old cells die and new cells form. Gautama found that there wasn't anything in the body that was not changing, and there wasn't a separate self. Intermingled with the river of body is the river of feelings. Each feeling is also a drop of water. These feelings, like cells of the body, also arise, live, and disappear, one after another. Some feelings are pleasant, some are unpleasant, and some are neutral. But none of these feelings are permanent and independent. Then Gautama explored the river of perceptions, which exist together with the river of the body and the river of feelings. Perceptions also intermingle and influence each other. They arise, live, and disappear. If perceptions are accurate, one sees reality. If perceptions are not accurate, one sees a false world. People suffer because of their erroneous perceptions of the world. They think the impermanent, permanent. They think that which is no self has a self. They think which has no birth and death has birth and death. And they also divide the inseparable into parts. Then Gautama looked into mental states, the sources of all the sufferings, the fear, the anger, the hatred, the greed, the arrogance. He saw that all these negative states are due to people's ignorance, which is the opposite of mindfulness. They are the darkness, the illness of the mind. He saw that the key to liberation would be to break through ignorance, shine light, wisdom on it, to enter deeply into the heart of reality. He saw that if one is liberated from ignorance, then one will be cured, and his mental obstructions will vanish on their own. Gautama smiled and he looked up at the Bodhi leaf. In the leaf, he saw the presence of the sun, the moon, the clouds, the rains, and everything in the universe. Even though the leaf was born in the springtime, but he could see that the leaf had been there for a long, long time in the sunlight, in the clouds, in the trees, and everything else. The leaf and himself had just manifested, but actually they had never been born and were not capable of dying. With his insight, birth and death, appearance and disappearance dissolved. One included all, and all were contained in one. There isn't a separate, permanent self in everything, which is the empty nature of everything. Nothing can exist independently from the rest of the universe, which is the interdependent nature of all phenomena. Gautama realized that the key to liberation is the two principles, interdependence and non-self. The whole universe is one, and this is the reality. Entering into the reality and accepting the reality will help us break through ignorance and let the wisdom shine. Amitabha, from one night to the other, Gautama meditated under the Bodhi tree, shining the light of his awareness on his body, his mind, and the whole universe, until one day he was seized by the feeling that he would obtain the great way that very night. Thank you everyone for being here watching this video. I hope this talk also shine light on you. Let's continue to explore the reality of the universe and break open the jewel that shackles our mind. I'll see you next time. Bye.